Okay, I was not going to do a hot water replacement video because, I get 6 views, 5 of them are mine. Maybe I'll give myself a thumbs up. But anyway, I decided to go ahead and make the video because it's really complicated. Especially in my case, it's not a simple swap. Alright, you see all these hoses here. So what happened is I decided to raise it up off the floor the last time I flushed it out. And that caused all kinds of problems. The pipes weren't set up for that. They were set up for it being on the floor. So, I've lived with that. Actually, not that configuration. That's a new configuration. Just to keep it going until I get the new hot water heater in there. Because I had filters in there. I had house filters. And I'll show you that. So, I bought a new hot water heater. Let's take a look at that. So here it is. The brand is not important. What is important are the numbers. And the numbers are upper lower total 4500. Wattage. Capacity in gallons 40. You'll have to change your lines or extend them or retract them if you do more or less gallons. And 240 volts. Alternating current only. So it's not a Tesla. Alright, let's look on the new one. Alright. Upper and lower 4500 watts. Single phase 40 gallons. Alright, got a manufacturing date. They made me write down that serial number 3 times. The model number and serial number on the paperwork that came with it. Anyway, so that matches. That's very important. The height and diameter are a little bit different. This one's a little bit more compact, but it's no big deal. The electricals are going to be very easy. I've already staged them. So I'm going to do a plug and chug. I put these on. So I'll take the wire coming from the control panel up and just click, plug them in. We'll be good to go. My relief valve is on top, so I'm going to have to pipe it around and above the drain hole. And the end of the pipe needs to be 6 inches above the drain hole. That's right. Air needs to be between the end of the pipe and the drain. I don't know why. Alright, I have my new hoses in place. They're kind of torqued down. I didn't put anything on the pipes because it's like a garden hose kind of washer in there, and that's going to seal it, so not worried about leaks. Alright, up at the top here we're going to need a threaded connector to go on here. It's very difficult to get threaded and threaded, so I'm going to glue everything together. So once that gets in place, I'll measure everything. You'll see that. Also, can you see what I meant by garden hose kind of washer? So when this gets screwed in, it should seal. Really shouldn't need any pipe tape on here or any goo or anything like that. It should seal right up. Alright, I needed 1 1/8 wrench to snug these up, and again it was just snug. You have to be very careful. These are lined. Well, if I can get on camera. These are lined with plastic, so you do not want to use heat if you're going to sweat to it. Going to sweat it up because you have copper lines or something, then you're going to have to be very careful. You're going to have to read the book and see what they say. Also, don't tell anyone because I'm a guy. I actually read the instructions, and guys are not allowed to read the instructions. Oh, there's my receipt. So I paid with tax $513.72 for what you see. So you see the hot water heater and the 2 hoses. The hot water heater was $450. and this is September of 2022. So there you go, got it at the Home Depot. Here's one of the 3 places they made me write down the serial number. They made me do it! Here's another one. And on this card here. So, a lot of good information. Tremendous amount of information. It's very important that you read it. And I only found one thing wrong, and I'll show you that real quick. Ream, your QC department let you down. Routine inspection, like they said. I really like this valve. Crap, I thought I was going to replace it with what I had on the other one, but this is very nice. Very nice. But look at what I found in here. Some insulation. Just kidding. So let me zoom in there. Let me put the camera where I am. Okay, they say when you replace the element, which is going to be right here, you can just break this off. It's no big deal. But I think you can get the element in and out without breaking it off. So let me take this cover off of here. Just pop it off the bottom and up through the top there. So it just kind of clicks in place. I'll show you when I put it on. Alright, this guy right here, which is the lower thermostat, it's still a little bit crooked, but it was tilted way off to the side and it wasn't clipped in here. Can you see that little clip right there? I thought, what the heck is going on? I kept trying to line it up, I couldn't. So, a little shaky camera business going on here, but the mounting plate is pushed on here, and those are the clips holding it up, and it was put on crooked. That meant that these locking tabs here for the thermostat, this side could not be clipped in. This side was clipped in, but it was all tilted off to the side and goofed up. The lines were okay. I've rerouted them and made them prettier, but they were on there okay. Everything was good there. So what I did is I took the lines off, and I finally figured out that I needed to bump that plate over counterclockwise a little bit till it was straighter. Looks a little crooked still to me, but that's okay. Then I clipped it in place on the other side. This side was already clipped in place. And put it back together. So, little ugliness that needed to be cleaned up. The top was perfect. So, alright, let me get this back together. I said I'd show you the plate going back on. It's really pretty easy. Just get it lined up here at the top. Just click it on at the bottom. You're all good to go. Put your insulation back in, and you'll be all done here. Screw it in by hand or a very low setting. You don't want to strip out that hole more than it already is. Alright, I'll get the bottom finish up. Alright, with the water system offline, I'm going to replace the outside spigot. It's running real slow. You have to hand make the washers that go in there now. It's just so old that I just can't find the right size pre-cut that I need. And anyway, I'm just going to replace it. And that's because that's the outside line right there. And this line here is coming down to the hot water heater. I have a flexible hose going to it. There's the hot water line to the hot water heater. so the hot water's coming out through the flexible line and up into the house. This hot water timer, I've tried it for years and years. It didn't affect my bill, so I don't recommend it. But I'm not going to take it out of the loop. I might one day. We're having some housework done. There's an electrician, certified electrician coming in here, but I don't want to mess with anything right now because we might have a code inspector coming in here, and so I just want to get everything normal, and then I'll probably take this box out and just run a straight line from here to the new hot water heater. Alright, we have two things to turn off. One is the well, and the other is the water heater. So, and that also means I don't have to mess with the box here. I can turn it off, but no big deal. So this is like Rev 5 or 6 in my plans. So I'm going to replace the valves, put new valves in there. Also, you want to be careful. There's a flow direction, so you want to make sure you understand cold is going in and hot is coming out. So make sure you understand your flow direction, and that's the way the seat is oriented. You want flow out this way. You do not want flow out this way. Alright, probably going to be like this. Alright, you can see I have my junction pieces. I guess I'm going to put a new piece on. I was going to reuse what I had, but I think I'm going to, right here where it goes to the outside, just put a new piece on. I'm going to just cut a T. For the hot water line, I was just going to cut out and reuse what I had, but I'm going to install new valves, so I think these are going to go away. So, you know, I'm going to have to revise my drawing. Oh yeah, one other thing, I bumped up the thermostat to 125 on the top and the bottom. They recommend 120 on the bottom. If you go to 125 on top, it comes from the factory, 120, 120. So there's that. You know, you can decide what you want. The hotter the water, the quicker it is to burn you. You know, these things can really crank up the hot water in such a way that hot water only will burn you instantaneously. So you need to be careful there. Alright, throughout the book, I think there were 3 iterations of water temperature setting. So, you know, serious burn time, you know, I'm going to be at 125, so it'll give you time to turn the knob on the shower if you got it too hot. But I need it up there because of the washing machine and the dishwasher. The washing machine doesn't have a heater. The dishwasher will heat up the water hotter if it senses that it's cold. Anyway, that's one of the reasons I bumped it up just a little bit. And like I said, our bill didn't go up. I mean, it has gone up over the years. When we first moved in, it was $80 a month on average over the year. And now it's like $150 a month, so that's just inflation. The energy guides are different. I really can't compare them. They've actually been revised to make it a little more consumer friendly instead of, you know, giving you a bunch of engineering test data stuff, you know, like car gas mileages, you know. You never get the car gas mileage they say you'll get. So anyway, it says $419 a year, and the energy guide on the new one is $446. So it should be a little bit reduction in cost. But anyway, it is what it is. Hopefully we'll get a little bit cost reduction. I mean, we won't see it. We pay the same bill every month, and then like in August If we owe them more, they bill us more. If we owe them less, then instead of paying the $150, for example, we'll pay the $100 or $120 or whatever the balance is in our favor. And yes, our electric bill is that low. I know some people, even around where we live, we're with AEP, and some people have to go with Southside, and they're paying for the same amount of electricity $350 a month. Yeah, over twice as much. Yeah, that's really insane. Some people just down the road are also Dominion. They are not as bad, but they are also more. Not as bad. All right, and there's my house filter. That's just a sediment filter. If we do anything to the well, like we replace the pump or the tank or anything like that, then I'll put a filter downstream from here, but that's in the future. Again, did I say anything about it's flexible, so it's easy to get on and off? Of course, all the tubing is going to be glued together. It won't be like that, but I can remove it if necessary. You see, I have the removable union here, and there's one behind the tank right there where the line's coming in, so I can just twist them and change out the whole unit should something become defective up here where I have to change it. I know I have a real spider web of hoses here, but this is the line coming in. I'm going to have to cut that off and put a 90-degree angle and come in to the line right there. So I'll take care of all that. Alright, so a lot of chit-chat and planning, so when I actually get down to physically doing things, I will film the finish. I'll film any problems I run into, and then conclude the video. Alright, well this is happening over days, so hopefully I don't repeat myself too much. So it's going to be power off, supply off. Then we're going to vent the house. I'm gonna allow air in from the top and drain the hot water heater. Hopefully all that camera movement wasn't too bad. Okay, normally I would just vent the hot water side. That's what the instructions say. However, because I'm doing some piping, installing new piping, I'm also gonna vent the cold water side. So get that going. Start draining. So, as my wife likes to say, do you want me to call a plumber? Bet a plumber wouldn't mop the floor. So, enough's a breeze. Okay, while I have the system down, I'm going to replace the outside spigot. It's been a real pain in the butt. I haven't been able to get the correct parts for it, so I'm going to go ahead and replace it. And my trick is to protect the threads and the piping. I've stuck some 1/2-inch tubing in there to shove it through the hole, and as it goes through, looks like I sprayed some foam insulation in there. Going to protect it from having debris fall in there, or and then also I can pull it through if I need to, because I really don't want to hammer it. Alright, I made it. I had to, you know, shove it in there. I had to in and out and in and out and in and out and in and out, and yeah, see? And then finally it just went all the way in. So good thing I put my protective sleeve on there. Now I'll take that off and hook it up. Even though I can go right outside and look, it does say top right here. on the flat, so it should be oriented correctly outside. I think I'm going to put some screws in there and hold it in place and then do my hookups. Alright, we're ready for the leak test. The well is on, the tank pressure is up to 50. That's all I need is 50, I don't need 60. So let's see what happens. I have both the hot and the cold water on upstairs. Normally you just leave the hot on, but I have them both since I redid all the plumbing. Speaking of which, there it is. Filling up, I hear it gurgling. You certainly can tell what new is because, oops, it's the white lines. I reused some of the red and blue, but for the most part, anything white is all new. Oh, I still have to do the relief valve. You can see it sticking out over there. I'm going to chop it off, send it down, come out underneath, and then drop down above the drain right here. It needs to be a 6-inch clearance according to the book. Alright, so we're filling. I'll let you know if I have any leaks. Alright, I'm going to do a relief valve check too. Alright, that sounds good. I see some water leaking there. Let me get that. Alright, so I just had to tighten this up. And this was leaking. I was messing with it earlier, so I just tightened that down too. So I tightened those two up. I don't see any other leaks. Alright, go back to filling. Alright, I saw a leak there too, so I'm going to tighten that up. Alright, so there we are. All done. Hot water heater installed. And I'll confess to all my leaks. I had 4 leaks. So, well, 5. So the 2 connections, so I have a stainless steel flexible hose going up to a connection. The hose wasn't tight enough on the fitting, so I just needed to tighten that up. Took care of that. Those were 2. The other 2 was the inside of this union here. So this inside and this inside both leak, so I just put some Teflon tape on them and boom, problem solved. So, and I can take that filter completely out of there if I need to. Alright, there's my overflow drainage. It's supposed to be 6 inches, but I didn't cut it shorter. So, anyway, there's that. And over here I goofed up a little bit. You can see the double unions. What happened was the valve. So I over tightened the actuator on the valve and that kind of popped the union down here. So I didn't want to rig up another pieces going into the spigot, so I just cut out where it broke at the union that I had it at, spliced it in, and then replaced the valve actuator. So as you can see, I had a bunch of extra ones. You can see this one's missing because I stole it off of here because this is messed up. Have to toss that. I broke it. So that is that. I have plenty of pieces left over. Didn't run out anything. Didn't have to make an emergency run to Lowe's or Home Depot. Kind of favoring Home Depot over Lowe's for a lot of things lately. And there it is. The well comes up, goes into the filter, then goes up to the house. The split is house, and then hot water heater and outside spigot. So the hot water heater goes in this way, hot water comes out. I had to go up, over, and into the existing piping to go into the house. So there's my up and over. Electricals was a no-brainer, even for someone who knows nothing about electricity. That was stupid easy, so really nothing to explain there. Alright, water heater breaker is on. It made no noise whatsoever. And the water pump is on. When I say it made no noise whatsoever, the old hot water heaters, it would pop and creak, and you know, when it went from cold to hot. Alright, so there's my install. You can already see that clay and iron, or whatever the heck it is. It's not really iron. I bought some test strips. So it's just, you know, brown clay. And so the old hot water heater really puked a lot of that stuff out, because I had to take the filter off for a while. And it just really filled up with sediment. So hopefully that'll keep our water clean. And of course our refrigerator is a chemical filter. So we have a solid deposits filter for the house, and then a chemical filter for the refrigerator. And that's what we're doing. Alright, there's my line going underneath the hot water heater. Had to do it that way. That's the one thing I missed. I should have got one that was on the side, just like the original one we had, but what the heck, it's no big deal. So that is my video. Thank you for watching.